Good evening and welcome to News 360, live from our studio here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I'm Grace Hamwa-Juman. Coming up tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Over 211,000 delegates of the New Patriotic Party set to elect a flag bearer for the 2028 polls.
President Mahama says fight against illegal mining is gradually yielding positive results, warning government would fight the menace without fear or favor.
Also coming up, veteran journalist Gifty Afenyi-Dazi urges media owners to invest in safety equipment amid rising attacks on journalists.
Later in business, Vice President Professor J. Nano Pokwa-Ajumana asserts execution and tangible results, not just vision, will define Africa's trade future.
And on the international front, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns of imminent financial collapse due to member states not paying their fees. We're live around the world on 3news.com. We're also streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, and we always love to hear from you.
On DSTV, we're live on channel 279. Let's begin the bulletin with journalist safety, and a veteran journalist and former president of the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, Gifty Afenyi-Dazi, has called on media house owners to invest in safety equipment for journalists. Speaking at a high-level stakeholder engagement on journalist safety in Ghana, she said it is deeply troubled by the rising attacks on journalists, including by security agencies, and urged that all identified culprits be interdicted and prosecuted.
The call for protection comes at a time of heightened concern for the safety of the press in Ghana. Between 2019 and 2023, the Ghana Journalists Association, GGA, documented a total of 45 cases of assault and attacks against journalists and media institutions. According to the GGA, 13 attacks on journalists were recorded across the country between January and October 2025. The latest incident involves the assault of Media General's Northeast correspondent, Solomon Kanewuli. Speaking at a high-level stakeholder engagement on journalist safety in Ghana, veteran journalist Gifty Afenyi-Dazi expressed concern about recent attack on media personnel.
I will call on media owners, despite your political polarization, and when attacks come, please stand up, back the GJ, make sure you make open statements. You see, when you do things backdoor, people don't get the input. But I will plead with you that no matter what your polarization is, this is a fight for the nation. It is a fight for our democracy. It is a strategy to go back, put us back into the dark era of domestication.
She called on owners of media houses to invest in safety equipment for journalists.
Let this meeting send a clear message to those who hide behind uniforms to abuse power. Journalists will not be silenced, and impunity will be confronted head-on.
Welcome to your election command center. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day for us, but more importantly for the New Patriotic Party. So let's find out what exactly has been happening less than 24 hours to the opening of polls. Now, with over 211,000 delegates expected to elect a flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party on Saturday, some citizens have shared divided views on who the party should choose to lead them into the 2028 general elections. While some believe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is proven and tested as the competent one, others say that the party needs Kennedy Agyapong, who would create jobs for the many unemployed youth and present a tougher contest for the NDC in 2028.
I'm thinking about Bawumia should, still lead the party. But, when Kennedy go to the top, and when Kennedy becomes the president one day, maybe when things are not going on, no one can control Kennedy because we know how he is. He's a man of himself, and sometimes he doesn't listen to anyone. He takes in action whatever he likes.
For me, my view is Dr. Bawumia will lead MPP to 2028 victory because he's credible. He's very, very credible. And in fact, as a party, you can't even change your candidate just like that. Whoever you bring, I don't know how you are going to market him, so I think I'm going for Dr. Bawumia.
What be the economy we say? They maintain one. We are MPP. Me full MPP. But some for the bomb. Me boni be 3,000 dimati. E be to MPP.
Sisu bi o se den.
Some for the bomb. Me boni be 3,000. Oh mati. E be to MPP.
We are one opposition here then.
Me your president manager. Oh cycle. Number 2 market. One more. We go the force.
Enti o fa Kennedy ama. Wo nipa be mpem ensa.
E be to no.
Oh wow.
Yeah. E be to MPP. Ghana, you try judge, you try lawyer, Kufuor, you try economist, you pay businessman. When America, a businessman, China president, Odiga, we did need. If you have to say, Obi Odiga, everybody Ghana so.
Pressure manager is telling MPP that if they do not bring Kennedy Agyapong, he is going to marshal some 3,000 people to vote against the NPP. One man, what's the name?
Where do I kuku no kwa Bawumia na yeto abanama no. Number 3. Nyame bo ochina. Obi ankotuma Bawumia number 3. Ya ton dada. Yempe ayibia.
Okay. She says Bawumia is a candidate you can sell.
Yentuma Bawumia. Yentia ema me pe Bawumia asem ne se Kennedy Agyapong first no. Ni ehunu se oye enipa. Ba se ni kasa mu ne niye mu no. Amba yehunu se Sabe ye nijina baby and the kasa ne begu MPP animas.
Who do you want to be voted for?
Kennedy Agyapong.
Why Kennedy?
Kennedy o tse ni nyuma a obeye. Campaign am we mo ye say. Den tam to oba. Obi say oba mo adwuma. Obi tu say oba o ma odekita. O ma Ghana card. Ibu say question say Ghana card no ebi adwuma na. Ghana card ye tu kwan. Ye be say mo say mo ko to oba ne say. Man na say o pe Kennedy Agyapong. Obi asu. E de kuma phone na asu. Etu koto na wonyo da akira do batu wagi obedi hu a ko koto e be se o Kennedy na wo mpre o mutuma Kennedy no meli o man no
me de minim alfa bato no de minim se oba abebo ya Kennedy Agyapong because I nipa we no ye hwa nipa na one MPP party ma ono ni nipa wa bia dwuma o Ghana ha wo more workers ya wo te se ba bia me tie kura no e da ya me timo o ji se o na be si da no jama ye se wom
na wo ho no see we de hu se Kennedy na see
won na see ye ba de kwa ne se ye ni ani ba bi tin ye kwoteretenam ni won sin wi oba ye na obehu se tim no se nya hwe wa jama ye ntiram ni nsiesie
enti wanye musika
dabi
untu ya rent
wanti kwa ntu ya
what say infa
taifa.
It is a split view, a split opinion. All boils down to how voters are going to decide. Over 211,000 voters across 333 polling stations, across all the 276 constituencies, would see tomorrow and by Sunday who gets elected to lead the NPP.
Well, let's just stay on the NPP elections, and the Eastern region will play a critical role in deciding the outcome of the New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer election. Correspondent Yvonne Nikwe has been gauging the mood of residents and delegates in the region, as well as assessing the preparedness of the Electoral Commission and the police service ahead of the polls.
In the Eastern region, over 22,000 delegates are expected to cast their ballots at 36 voting centers spread across the 33 constituencies.
The region has become a critical battleground due to the wide margin of votes the NPP usually wins in the national elections.
As a result, the candidate who secures the highest support in the region could significantly influence the overall outcome of the flag bearer race. Out of the 5 candidates contesting the NPP flag bearership, Brian Ichampo is the only contender from the Eastern region. The big questions remain: will he enjoy overwhelming support from his home base? However, political analysts say current opinion polls do not place him in a strong winning position. Ultimately, delegates will decide who earns the mandate to lead the party into the next phase of the political contest this Saturday.
We want somebody who can come and unite the party.
For the better for the party. And we have to elect a winnable candidate, not a flag bearer.
PP Abanoa, Yeba Beton. Obia Penedachi, and in ma, any of mine ye.
The Eastern Regional Secretary of the NPP, Tony Osei Ej, has cautioned delegates to strictly adhere to the rules governing the party's primaries to ensure a peaceful and credible exercise.
The election is going to be free and fair. That's why all the voting centers are in the open. So whoever pick a ballot box to go and cast his or her ballot will be seen. It's only that you may not know who the person is voting for or whom the person is voting for. But my advice to them is that we should conduct ourselves in a way that will bring peace during and after the election. And whoever emerges the day, like Professor Dubois said, every person, individual should sing the song of the flag bearer who has been elected.
Electoral Commission Regional Director John Apia Bafo has assured all laws governing electoral operations will be strictly enforced.
The elections are governed by laws, so they should make sure that they are conversant with the laws, with the guidelines, so that they don't come there to disturb.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it has a mandate to ensure peace before, during, and after the election. The Eastern Regional Police Commander DCOP Joseph Owusu-Bemba says the police will not countenance any acts capable of disrupting the process.
Tomorrow is not a day for macho men. So if you come and you misbehave, you'll be arrested, and now the IGP has retreated. That when one of you is arrested, don't call me the IGP. So those who are going for the post, they are not fighting. The one who is down there, you want to go and create problem, they don't know you. So when you are incarcerated, they will not come. In fact, they don't know you exist.
Well, we're staying on the NPP and in the Bono East region, where over 7,800 delegates are expected to cast their votes. The Regional Police Command has assured that it will ensure maximum security for the polls. Belinda Tete reports.
To ensure a peaceful primaries, about 825 police personnel have been deployed across the Bono East region.
We deployed 825 personnel across board. We have 75 for every polling station. Outside is also made provision for rapid response to take care of any issue that may crop up in the course of the voting. The security for this election is solely and exclusively made for the Ghana Police Service. So we are not expecting any third force in terms of this election.
The Electoral Commission has also declared its readiness to conduct a seamless process.
Everything has been handed over to Electoral Commission. So we are in fully charge of the conduct of the election. No party executive, election committee again. So we are going to handle it the way we have been handling normal elections.
Some 7,840 delegates will vote in the Bono East region. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Bono East region.
Well, if you have admiration for the prophetic, this story is for you, because the main opposition New Patriotic Party's flag bearer election has moved beyond the usual promises and delegates mobilization as predominant conversations have shifted towards a clash between prophetic and statistical predictions. While the polls are projecting win for Dr. Bawumia, a divine message has pronounced Kennedy Agyapong as a 2028 flag bearer for the party. Christian Yale looks at what impact these can have on the outcomes of the race.
Those who are connected start jubilating. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party is Kennedy Agyapong.
This prophet, Bernard L. Bernard Nishan, has seen and heard from the divine oracles, and what he says is not human. Do not take them literally. In the past, his declarations on national politics have often generated debate, and he has yet again received traction for predicting a win for Ken Agyapong in the NPP flag bearer race.
Prophecy is too high for the natural mind. It is not an expression of intellectual wisdom. Neither is it an exposition on experience.
When you sample accurately and you deploy a random techniques, right, what you get across a sectional period will not vary significantly unless there's a big shift.
On the side of data stands Musa Dankwa, who has built a strong reputation for largely accurate polling in recent elections. He disagrees with spirituality on this matter and says science is proven and tested that Dr. Bawumia will win with 57% ahead of Kennedy Agyapong, who trails with just 28%.
We have spoken to people randomly, and this is the voice of the people. And we say, well, it's the voice of God. Anywhere else in the world, they don't fight the polls. The polls are done credibly with the right methodology and approach.
While the polls point to one direction, prophecy leads to another. Who wins in the end? But before that is answered, these two figures have put their reputation on the line.
I'm putting 27 years of hearing and seeing, 18 years of pastoring the church in Accra on the line. When you are dealing with God, remove if.
There was no difficult election for me than Akwetia. Why am I saying Akwetia? We only had 2 polling cycles to make predictions based on two polling cycles. The trend wasn't established. Trend Ninihoa, you put everything at risk.
Yeah.
We have tracked this poll for 5 good months. The trend is there. The trend doesn't lie. And the trend is so current.
Supporters and followers of Musa Dankwa and Prophet El Bernard have interest in the outcome of the election and whose reputation might be slaughtered. Polls can measure sentiment. Prophecies can inspire belief, but neither of them casts a ballot. Responsibility lies with delegate Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Right, so trust your election command center to give you coverage right from the morning throughout key point up until the last ballot is cast, sorting and counting and declaration is done. All will be live here on TV3 and all our sister stations, so do make a date with us. Staying on politics though, we are swinging to the camp of the New Patriotic Party from the NPP now to the NDC, where analysts predict a pushback against the NDC's decision to bar government appointees from contesting party positions, though many agree it is a step in the right direction. The directive announced by General Secretary Fifi Kwete on Thursday forms part of a wider reorganization plan under the party's constitution.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office.
The new rules require any government appointee seeking party office to resign at least 6 months before contesting. Political analyst Dr. Samuel Efriye argues that it is irrational to abandon a well-paid government role for party allowances.
How can you leave your position in government to come and do, because party work you don't pay? What I know is that few of them maybe strategic positions where they give some allowance, but they don't pay you. So any rational being will not go in for, except that maybe the the person wants to pursue some political agenda.
He adds that the move is strategic.
And the NDC is being strategic and don't want to lose any opportunity in the next election, looking at the situation where the president will not be going again. So we have to pick some people within the party. And you know that the MPs defend themselves in whatever situation that they find themselves. So they want to work themselves out, especially for the party, so that they can focus on party activity.
Political analyst Professor Smart Sapon foresees resistance.
I foresee some pushback, but I mean, it is a product of a meeting properly constituted. So in the short term, it may cause some inexperience in the system, because some of the old guys in government, if they do not resign, it means they will go with their experience, even though they might be helping backstage. But it will cause on the front of the party some inexperience, bits of inexperience. But the good news is that if that inexperience is demonstrated from now to end of year, at least by the time they get to 2027, I mean, party people should have adapted.
Currently, several government appointees hold party positions and are likely to be affected by the directive. They include National Communications Officer and CEO of Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, National Women's Organizer and Administrator of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Anna Louisa Bissiu, National Youth Organizer and Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opare-Addo, Deputy National Communications Officer and CEO of the Youth Employment Agency, Malik Basantali. The directive is expected to reshape the party's internal dynamics as the NDC prepares for the next election cycle.
And Ghana has lost over $830 million in potential revenue as gold prices surged to $5,200 announced in January 2026, a jump of more than 20% and the strongest monthly gain in over 40 years. That rally follows the Bank of Ghana's decision in late 2025 to convert more than 18 tons of gold into cash to support the economy, a move now drawing scrutiny amid the price hike. Wisdom Safo has more in this report.
Between early 2024 and September 2025, Ghana deliberately built up its gold reserves from about 20.6 tons to 37.1 tons, increasing the value of its gold holdings from roughly $1.3 billion to $3.43 billion. This reflected a strategic shift towards holding gold as a buffer against currency volatility, external stocks, and global uncertainty. However, by December 2025, the Bank of Ghana reduced its gold holdings sharply to 18.6 tons, effectively selling about 18.5 tons to shore up foreign exchange liquidity. At the time of sale, gold prices averaged around $4,200 per ounce, but prices later surged to record highs of about $5,590 per ounce, implying an opportunity cost of approximately $830 million. In simple terms, Ghana traded future gains for immediate stability. Governor Johnson Esiama has explained that the decision was based on careful calibration and regional analysis, reflecting concerns about short-term balance of payment pressures, import cover, debt servicing, and currency stability.
And what we did was to look at our peers, our peer countries. We observed that most of them were holding between 20 and 25% of their portfolios, as gold. At the time, we were holding a little over 40%. And so decision was made to diversify, and that is what you see. But the FX that was earned as a result is there. It is earning, dividends. And so no worries at all. And as you are aware, we are building all the time. We are rebuilding all the time. And so this year, we will reaccumulate once again. We'll be down to that level, and we will ascertain, we'll evaluate whether it will be optimal to hold it at those levels. And maybe let me just clarify. It is true gold prices have risen to record levels, way above 5,200, I'm told. You have to understand that there are several factors that drive gold prices. Some of these factors are transitory, some are structural. Now, what you see at 5,200 may be more of transitory factors. It may not be permanent.
Beyond the headline numbers, the deeper issue is not whether the decision was right or wrong, but the strategic trade-off it exposes. Gold is a long-term hedge that protects value, while foreign exchange reserves provide immediate liquidity to defend the currency and keep the economy running. Holding gold too long can strain day-to-day dollar needs, while selling too early sacrifices long-term value. The future choice between gold accumulation and forex liquidity will signal how Ghana balances stability today against value tomorrow, and that is what makes the road ahead genuinely interesting.
Let's shift our attention to Galamsey-related stories. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has reiterated his commitment to the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, stressing that he will act decisively and without fear or favor. Speaking at a graduation ceremony at the Ghana Military Academy, the president said that although some positive results have been achieved, he will not be complacent and will continue sustained operations against illegal mining.
This is the regular career course 64 and the short service commission special duties course 62 on parade. The reviewing and commissioning officer, President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, arrived dressed in an Air Force uniform. In his address, President Mahama expressed concern about the growing threats of violent extremism and terrorism, particularly along Ghana's northern borders. He emphasized that national security should not be seen as a sole responsibility of state security agencies.
Violent extremism, terrorism, and transnational crime continue to pose serious threats, particularly along our northern border. Globally, the rise of non-state actors and asymmetric warfare has reshaped the nature of security challenges. These realities demand a comprehensive and coordinated national response. Security cannot be seen as a sole responsibility of the armed forces and security agencies. It is a shared national duty. Citizens, communities, traditional authorities, civil society, and government must work together to protect the peace and stability we all so cherish. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to remain vigilant and security conscious in safeguarding our nation's peace.
He added that the fight against illegal mining is gradually yielding positive results.
Forests and river bodies have been declared security zones. Permanent military bases have been established, and offenders have been arrested and are being prosecuted. Rivers such as the Pra, Ankobra, and Ofin are gradually recovering. Let me be clear. Illegal mining will continue to be confronted decisively and without fear or favor. But this fight requires national unity. It is a moral, civic, and generational duty. And I call on all Ghanaians to stand together to restore and protect our land.
The president also disclosed that plans are far advanced to acquire new headquarters to enhance the Air Force air mobility and rapid response capabilities. A total of 261 officers graduated from the various courses. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alibu TV3, Accra.
Moving on to some other stories, the ECOWAS Community Court has granted an application by former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono to amend her case challenging her suspension to include her removal from office as a Superior Court Justice and a Chief Justice. Gertrude Tokono filed a lawsuit at the ECOWAS Court of Justice on July 4, 2025, alleging human rights violations regarding her April 22, 2025 suspension and demanding, among other things, $10 million damages.
During the hearing on Friday, January 30, lawyers of former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono, led by Femi Falana,
sought permission from the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice to withdraw an earlier motion which was seeking a default judgment against the Republic of Ghana for failing to file their statement of defense. Femi told the court that the state had subsequently filed the response, hence the application was moot. Gertrude Tokonu's lawyers then notified the court of a motion to amend the earlier application, challenging her suspension as Chief Justice of Ghana. Femi Falana noted that during the pendency of the initial case, their client was removed as a judge of the Supreme Court and dismissed as the Chief Justice of Ghana. He prayed for the court to grant the application to amend the initial case to include an application challenging her subsequent removal from office as Chief Justice. Femi argued that hearing the application challenging the suspension of the former Chief Justice before hearing another application challenging her removal would be a waste of the court's time. He added that the application to amend the initial motion had been served on Ghana, but Counsel for the Republic, represented by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai, opposed the application for amendment. He argued that Counsel for Gertrude Tokonu wanted to expand the scope of the matter, which would prolong the case and cause undue delay. Dr. Sremsai further noted that the impression being created by the opposing counsel that continuing with the removal process of Gertrude Tokonu is lawless was wrong. He indicated that an injunction application seeking to halt the removal process had earlier been dismissed by the ECOWAS court, hence the state was within the rights to proceed with the process. The panel of 3 judges then granted Gertrude Tokonu's application to amend the initial suit after listening to both parties and ordered the Deputy Attorney General to file the response to the amended case within 30 days. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
You're also watching News 360. We have business, sports, entertainment, and more after this break. Don't go away.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Good evening. Welcome to the business segment on News 360. I am Minu Aful. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has issued a powerful call for accountability and tangible results in Africa's quest for economic integration, stating that the continent's progress will ultimately be measured by its ability to deliver on infrastructure and institutional trust. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Africa Trade Summit 2026 in Accra, the Vice President emphasized that vision alone is no longer enough to sustain the momentum of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
When our vision is assessed in the future, it will be judged by whether infrastructure projects were completed within a reasonable time and cost, whether firms scaled or remained competitive, whether trade was cost-effective, faster and predictable, and whether institutions retained trust.
Acknowledging the effort, coordination and leadership currently driving the continent, the Vice President warned that maintaining this momentum requires deliberate, interconnected investments.
First, intra-African trade. Second, an industrial policy that supports priority sectors, builds skills, and embraces sustainable production. Third, infrastructure and connectivity. Fourth, innovation and technology. And finally, institutional capacity and governance.
President of the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, Carlos Villanova, urged African leaders to shift their fundamental approach to development.
Too often, we have treated infrastructure as an object to be built rather than a system to be made to work. Every year of delay compounds lost competitiveness, lost employment, and lost confidence.
Chair of the Advisory Board of African Trade Chamber, Sesam Jonah, observed that the African Continental Free Trade Area is not merely a trade deal, but a shield against a collapsing global economic order.
We must implement AFTA as our unbreakable shield, turning inward to unleash our inner empire. We must wake up, Africa. The new world demands defiance, not deference. Industrialization surges not through frantic frenzy, but through fierce focus.
The African Trade Summit 2026, themed around financing, industrialization and market integration, wrapped up after 2 days of high-level dialogue aimed at turning policy into measurable industrial outcomes.
Away from that, Ghana's overall customer satisfaction score has fallen sharply, dropping from 72% in 2024 to 59% in 2025, according to the latest Ghana Customer Service Index. The report assessed customer experience across 11 key industries using indicators such as trust, professionalism, competence, ease of doing business, process efficiency, and customer-focused innovation.
The insurance sector emerged as the best performing industry with a satisfaction score of 71%, followed by the banking sector at 61%. At the bottom of the rankings was the telecommunications sector, which recorded a 53% score despite being one of the most digitized sectors of the economy. The survey analyzed feedback from more than 5,000 customers across Accra, Kumasi, and other regions. It found that trust remained the most important driver of customer satisfaction across all sectors. Within the banking sector, Stanbic Bank recorded the highest satisfaction score at 76%, followed by EcoBank with 64%. In hospitality, Aqua Safari remained the top performing brand with an 81% rating, although this was down from last year. Utilities ranked among the top 4 performing sectors
with Ghana Water Limited emerging as the best performing utility. In the public sector, the Ghana Revenue Authority led the rankings, followed by SNIT and the Food and Drugs Authority. The institute says organizations must improve service quality and build stronger customer-focused cultures to restore public confidence. Meanwhile, the public has expressed mixed reactions on the report. Some Ghanaians shared their opinion with Three Business.
The way and manner that they treat their customer is totally bad, especially those that have been employed to render service to their customers.
I need more improvements in the industry that we are right now.
When you check the trot that is going on, and also when you enter the bank, how people attend to you is professional.
We'll end the segment now with updates from the Forex and commodities markets. I am Minu Afo.
For the Ghana Premier League, where Nations FC 123-day unbeaten run thanks to captain Razak Simpson's brace in what was a reverse of the outcome of their first round clash. Black Stars defender Simpson stole the show to secure a 2-1 win over the Mauve and Yellows at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex at Abrankese. Midiama made their intentions known early by taking the lead within the first 10 minutes when Kingsley Bry connected well with Fizzy Taylor's corner kick to head home from the back post. Nations leveled through Simpson from a corner kick before he then stepped up to calmly slot a penalty home 2 minutes before the break. Let's now hear from both coaches, starting with Mediama's Ibrahim Tanko, who expressed disappointment with the result, while Nations FC's Frimpong Manso attributed the victory to the team's hard work.
No, I think after the first goal, definitely we allowed them to take every ball, all the second balls they won. So, and the pressure was too high, and I don't know why, but I mean, this is a game. Anyhow, you are going to lose a game, but I think here is very painful.
No, I think you can see the atmosphere around the stadium. I think we needed these points, and I think we worked very hard for it. It's not something that came by chance. We worked very hard for the win.
Let's head to Europe now. Benfica will face Real Madrid again, this time in the Champions League playoff, just 3 weeks after their dramatic league phase encounter. On Wednesday, goalkeeper Anatoly Chubin's 98th minute goal and Jose Mourinho's side a 4-2 win against the Spanish Giants. Newcastle will play against Karabakh after finishing the league phase in 12th place, while defending champions Paris Saint-Germain, who finished 11th, will face Ligue 1 rivals AS Monaco. Let's take a look at the playoff draw just to get a sense of the fixtures. Bodo Glimt, who are on a historic run, host Inter Milan. Benfica, as we mentioned, face Real Madrid. Monaco face Paris Saint-Germain, who are the holders of the competition. Newcastle face Karabakh. Galatasaray clash against Juventus as Club Brugge face Atletico Madrid. Borussia Dortmund will come up against Atalanta as Olympiacos face Leverkusen. To some tennis now, where Novak Djokovic will face Carlos Alcaraz in the 2026 Australian Open final after both players came through 5-set epics to maintain their respective bids for history. 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 at 1:30 local Australian time. Spain's Alcaraz, on the other hand, quite a tasty set of semi-finals, and we'll be expecting much more in the final on Sunday. That's how we wrap up the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Ore Kwampofo.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything.
360. I am Esiedwa Afeni. In the world of entertainment, legendary Afrobeat pioneer Fela Anikulapo Kuti is set to make history as the first African artist to receive posthumous Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award nearly 3 decades after his passing. The Recording Academy announced that the King of Afrobeat will be honored at the 2026 Grammy Awards, a decision that has sparked widespread celebration across Nigeria and the global music community. The Recording Academy has named Fela Anikulapo Kuti among the recipients of his Special Merit Awards, recognizing his groundbreaking contributions to music and culture decades after his passing in 1997. Widely regarded as the creator of Afrobeat, Fela blended traditional African rhythms with jazz, funk and highlife, using his music as a powerful tool for political activism.
And the one that shows human rights. Animal must talk to human beings.
His fearless criticism of corruption, military rule and social injustice in Nigeria made him both a cultural icon and a controversial figure during his lifetime. The honor places Fela alongside an elite group of music legends, including the Beatles, Aretha Franklin and Bob Marley. The awards are reserved for performers who have made creative contributions of outstanding artistic significance to the field of recording. Fela's recognition marks a historic moment for African music on the global stage, underscoring the continent's enduring influence on global culture.
Hearts made of gold, rumblings from my pure soul. Still I don't know.
Award-winning Ghanaian rapper Manifest says chart positions and streaming figures do not influence his creative process, stressing that his focus in the studio is on artistry rather than numbers. Speaking on his approach to music making, the God MC composer explained that while statistics are inevitable in today's industry, they only become important after the music is released. Renowned Ghanaian recording artist Strigmatic has advised budding artists to feel confident saying no to contract terms they disagree with. He believes taking such a stand can help prevent future misunderstandings and disputes that often arise between artists and their record labels. He believes taking such a stand can help prevent future misunderstandings and disputes that often arise between artists and their record labels.
You can disagree and they can go back and change those things if they still want you. If they don't, they call their terms. If you disagree, you can move on. Like I always say, like labels are like picking a wife. Mm-hmm. You know what you want, and
picking a husband.
Picking a husband. Yeah. They decide, okay, I want a guy with cars, with money,
with
and
six-pack
and all that. If you don't have, and you still want the woman, it is your own decision. Mm-hmm. When you go into it, she will still go ahead and find the person with the six-pack, and you'll be found wanting. It's pretty much that. Like that. Yeah.
Okay. So good.
That's it for entertainment. I'm Esiedwa Afeni. Over to you, Grace.
On the international front tonight, the United Nations Secretary General has warned that the UN is at risk of imminent financial collapse due to member states not paying their fees. Antonio Guterres said the UN faced a financial crisis which was deepening and threatening program delivery, and that money could run out by July. Guterres said the UN had faced financial crisis in the past, but that the current situation was categorically different. He wrote in a letter to ambassadors that all 193 member states had to honor their mandatory payment or fundamentally overhaul the organization's financial rules.
In more international news, South Africa has expelled Israel's top diplomat in the country for violating diplomatic norms, a move that prompted Israel to kick out a South African envoy in retaliation. The diplomatic row started when South Africa's Foreign Affairs Ministry declared Ariel Siedman charged the affairs at the Israeli embassy persona non grata and gave him 72 hours to leave the country. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. That's it for the bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dati.
And I'm Grace Hamwajiman. Don't forget, the NPP Flag Bearer Primary is on tomorrow from 7 a.m. We are here at your Election Command Center, bringing you all that you need to know from all across the length and breadth of the country. We decide whether it is Team Prophetic or Team Science.
Statistics. Yeah. Stay with us. There's more to come. Bye for now.